Okay,
That's
good talk.
All right, so
Good
Chase is
talk.
a goat. Cool.
There's like almonds in this shit.
Uh-huh.
And some other stuff too. And when I have like fresh fruit, I just drop fresh fruit into it. No milk or anything, because lactose intolerance, LOL.
All right,
Mhm.
more than likely
JK.
unpopular opinion. I don't like nuts.
You're fucking wrong, dog.
Yeah, see, I
He
knew that
is
was gonna be
fucking
your
wrong.
response.
See, I love seeds and nuts, and I love to like bring home and eat seeds and nuts.
I
The girl likes nuts.
Yeah,
Quit
I
it.
got two nuts for you. You're gonna love.
The girl likes nuts.
Yeah.
Cashews and
Got
almonds,
two nuts
they're
for
both
you.
healthy.
The girl likes nuts.
Yeah. See, I was talking about my balls.
Ah, see, I missed that subtlety. It's an easy subject to miss. Your
Right, of
balls.
course.
gross.
Alright,
Point is, I love
I'm gonna
eating,
pop
like,
this
Sunflower seeds.
to Pug Hill, and I'm gonna tag Rana and Septal, so they know.
I'm gonna get. Can you give me the link so I can go to like Mindra and them?
It's in Pug Hill.
Okay.
Okay.
I would tag the engineers, but literally none of them are online right now.
Alright. Okay. Actually, let me test my levels really quick before we go continue.
Got to test them levels. Got to test them levels.
Test.
Testing.
Hello.
Testing.
Test.
Oh,
Okay, cool.
I told myself I wasn't. Beep boop beep boop. Heebie jeebies.
Dude, I love this song.
EBGBBs.
Go look up Watsky Ninjas in Paris.
Yes, good.
Oh boy.
I remember Watsky from extremely long time ago. He's still
Yeah, me too.
still doing stuff.
Presumably.
All right.
Still alive? Probably.
Yeah.
I'm still on my seed rant. Can I go back to my nuts and seeds rant?
I met him
No.
at VidCon 10 years ago. Good times.
Oh really? Shit.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It was back when it was like what, a few months after his first viral video on YouTube. So he was there and he was just like awkwardly leaning against a wall in the back corner while like there was a concert going on. And I was like, hey, I know you. Can I have your autograph?
Cool.
Nice. Anyway, we are ready to go.
The only songs that I knew from him were Ninjas in Paris, and he does a cover of. It's the backbeats. The backing track is from Busta Rhymes, but both Mac Lethal and he covered it, and it's really good. It's just fast talky bullshit that I like. It's not actually good rap. Anyway, last time on Dragon Ball Z. So you guys had held a pretty tenuous position. A long series of events, some of which were beyond your control and some of which were well within your control, led to the ultimate downfall of the plane of the Feywild, of the extraplanar location, a mirror of the prime material, in a way. With the death of the goddess, demigod Nyx, a chain reaction was started, and ultimately not able to be stopped. A couple of unlucky rolls in the fight with a big bad at Nyx's location, and some things that had gone on around your intercession into the Feywild. Ultimately, the plane was consumed by the onslaught, the tide of this weird life form of fungus creatures that didn't appear intelligent in virtually any way, just kind of mindlessly eating anything that they can and assimilating anything they came across. So in the dying throes of the plane, a desperate plea by the Archfey Titania, the queen of the Summer Court, the court of the land, she created a seed that ultimately could respawn in a way, after a fashion, the prime material, or the Feywild, if planted in a place of power on the prime material plane and nurtured. And you don't know how long this will take. This could take days, it could take centuries. You have literally no idea. You did manage to defend Titania long enough for her to create the seed and defeat 2 of 3, well, really 3 of 4 bosses that came to assault that came to attack the world tree in its final stand, and held off Medugia the Blight Dragon long enough for the ritual to complete, you to collect the seed, and be plane shifted out by 2 of the denizens of the Feywild there. And as all of you emerge limping and smoking from the various lightning breath wounds on your body, which, Despero, you're still bad. You're supposed to be badly injured still. I don't know why your HP is showing so high.
It's probably just because of the con ASI.
Pretty bad too. Oh, right. I need to level up actually in this rather than. Oops.
Yes, you do. Yeah, did the rest of you get leveled up?
I
No,
have
you
to do
didn't.
that. I forget if I have to
So-
do that manually.
Yes, you do. So go to under class and level on your first page, click the magnifying glass, and then click level up on the right. And then just increase your level to 12 and hit next and save. And since 12 is just an ASI for, I think, everybody, actually, really, you might get a spell slot.
I do.
Kindball. Spell your name,
Kindball.
Nikki.
Cynbel. Kindball.
E-L. Oh, I thought it was an A.
Kindball.
Okay.
Oh.
I believe it's actually Kinball, but I don't fucking
Whatever. Kind of.
Didn't,
Whatever.
didn't we? You linked this sound.
know. Yeah, but
Nope.
it's we just started it but
Yeah,
close enough.
it's Google trying to pronounce it, I'm sure.
Symbol.
So most of you heavily injured, exhausted, most of your resources tapped. Despero, I know that you're almost entirely tapped from at least sorcery points
Correct.
wise. From this final battle, you emerge blinking into sunlight. And Despero, Joe, you've been here before. The sweet smell of the loam, the gentle swaying of like the colorful leaves all around you, the gentle warmth of the tree that anchors this great clearing in the forest all remind you of Melithia and the safety she provided. You both kind of take a moment in your own ways to thank her for giving you shelter once more. And just kind of subconsciously.
And I just like dap up a shrub.
Absolutely.
Sorry, please continue.
The shrub when she's the tree.
Daps up a shrub. Please continue.
I'm trying to level up, but it doesn't want me to. I think
Uh,
it's.
I'll predict myself. Not the roll a d8 or just the flat 5.
Flat 5 plus con. So 5.
Nice. I rolled a 3 anyway. Excellent.
Okay, so the rest of you emerge, blinking into the dappled sunlight of this beautifully modeled forest grove somewhere on the prime material plane. The drow among you immediately wince and flinch at the afternoon sunlight, shielding their eyes, and some of them kind of letting out a hiss, an unhappy sound. And the rest of you stand and marvel at this serene grove. I need everybody to make a wisdom saving throw. With
Cool.
advantage if you are resistant to charming effects. So Nikki, you get advantage on it because of your
What's
Fey
it?
ancestry. Wisdom.
Aha.
I do not believe I am resistant to such things.
I don't think you are.
Hey.
Well, I have a +3 to whiz saving throws. Fuck yeah.
Okay.
I'll take a
okay.
20,
Okay.
I'll fucking take
Okay.
a 20.
Everybody makes it.
Hey!
Actually, that's interesting. Joe, you just barely made it. The DC was only 10.
Close one.
But and all the drow made it as well. I rolled them previously.
Easy.
With their Fey ancestry, they get advantage for being Fey ancestry, but disadvantage for having been there for so long.
Easy.
So they just had a straight roll.
They had a straight roll and they all succeeded. And Matthias also succeeded, also barely.
Should we worry about Farhat?
I rolled for him.
Okay.
He rolled a 16.
Of course.
So yeah, 7 plus 9 because he's got stupid high wisdom. So you emerge into this grove. kind of shaking off the weird kind of fisheye sensation, the kind of warping of perception and reality that the Feywild had brought you. And the Sun Prince, who emerges last among the group, he kind of staggers out of this brief portal. And as you guys kind of fan out into the grove, about a 20-foot circle, he kind of staggers into the middle, visibly weak, his skin sallow and pale, his arms just kind of limply hanging at his sides, and he collapses to a knee, bracing himself with both hands on the forest floor before slowly and arduously picking himself up and looking at his hands. It's so different. I've wanted for new experiences all my life, but now that a totally alien one is upon me, I'm not so sure. Houst, do you feel... Houst? He looks around, you guys look around, and she is nowhere to be found.
Oh no.
Who is this speaking?
The sexy lady. The Sun Prince. The
The
sexy
prince.
lady's missing.
Okay, so-
Yeah. That's concerning. Well, it seems we have made it mostly. Now, I know little about it, but apparently my weakness is due to some imposter masquerading as me on this plane. Houst's previous mission was to locate it, but she only got as far as identifying the problem. And it seems she is not here with us. I can only assume she has emerged where she last passed through the prime material, which is somewhere. He kind of ponders for a second. You do see Hermescent. Hermescent has arrived with you, and she kind of flutters up, and she appears insubstantial. She was previously made of this tough bark and these flowing autumn leaves, and now the bark part of her is not there. She's just a swirling mass of leaves that vaguely coalesce into a humanoid shape. You can still see the cloak behind her and the kind of antlered helmet, but it's all very abstract now, as she is just almost entirely immaterial. She comes up to the center of the group and addresses, I am glad we have all arrived, at least in some part. It is clear that those Fey, truly Fey among us, are weakened on this plane. But it is better than the utter destruction we faced.
Matthews is still here, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
And he's like got his weapons up. He's like got his axe on his shoulder and his dagger kind of back gripped in his hand. And he's like looking around like a hunter.
Is Samath here as well?
Samath is not.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just asking to determine whether or not Despero's still lucid, which he is at this point, and so he says. With our completion of that battle, the most basic part of our duty to the Feywild is done until the seed quickens, which may happen eons after all of us here are dead. And he looks around. His eyes catch Matthias eventually. This space is sacred. Not in our way, but enough of a way that you may stow your weapons if you feel so inclined.
He immediately does. He immediately, as soon as you start addressing him like that and tell him that, he flips his axe, puts it on its head, and puts it on the ground, and then sheathes his dagger.
Has Kindbell joined the party at all yet?
Kindball is
I'm
with you
here.
guys, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah,
was
so
very
Kindball,
Of course, we were in the fight together. Sorry, my memory is shit.
yeah, Kindball, this area is entirely alien, but also strangely familiar. The topography here mirrors that of the grove that you first entered when you met the party, and you're still getting that kind of tugging sensation at the back of your head that leads you to believe you have something that needs to be done. You do have a Fey being in your presence still, the prince, and also you still something nags at you at the back of your mind, some unfinished business. As all of you kind of settle in, the eerie stillness of this glade becomes apparent, and a faint whistling creeps into your periphery as a javelin flies through the air and embeds itself in the loam about 20 feet from the outside of your group. You look up in slight alarm to see. Well, if you've ever seen a giant tiptoe, you see at the edge of the glade, hunkered low, a large unmoving shape, crouched on just the edge of the grove.
Bro's got his weapons out fucking immediately. One Sog, if that is you, state your presence.
It steps forward and raises its large head, and you do see, as it steps into the light, you do see one eye, and Von Sog greets you. It has been some time, friends. Welcome back. And he steps forward and retrieves his javelin. There are more of you than before. And you hear crashing up through the brush behind him a mammoth.
Ah, there he is.
Oh yeah, what does our little Drake say now that he's back home and sees Vonsog?
Tyr immediately takes off and flies towards Vonsog. And he kind of reaches up and brushes his underbelly as he flies by. And he wraps around, and Amunet also kind of gives a brief little trumpet of recognition. And Tyr loops around quickly around the glade in obvious excitement, and basically full body tackles Vonsog.
Aww.
Like does a circle to build up speed, and then just he collects himself, and as soon as Vonsog gets up and collects himself, Tyr kind of remembers himself and darts back on his legs, not flying, to the group, and kind of does a tight circle around Joe, and then lowers his head under your arm, so your right arm's resting on his head. And slowly over the next about 5 minutes, some more Cyclops come down out of the edges of the grove, including oh fuck, I forgot her name. The druid. Vonsog's girl.
Yeah.
Vonsog's wife. Yeah.
Wife Sog.
Wife Sog.
Thanks, I hate it. Giant can really fuck with a giant can catch this section. Duthor.
Duthor, that's it.
Um,
And there was also Tofor as well, right?
Tofor was,
Deaded, right?
I think he died.
Yeah, I think
Tofor
Tofor died. Yeah.
He died in the river crossing.
Mm-hmm.
So Duthor comes down wielding the big staff that was grown out of the tree, and entwined over the old staff of the elder. And you can see her making her way down, and they're happy to see you guys, and they, after a brief moment of near confrontation with the drow just being utterly fucking confused, like, who the fuck are these guys, like, crossbows out, like,
Like her hand down, like, don't worry, it's fine, they're cool.
yeah, you and Farhat wave them down, and Farhat helps communicate with them because he also speaks giant.
Yay!
So Farhat explains to all of you and the drow that at some point in their history, the last time that these drow at least have seen a Cyclops, they were bitter enemies.
Oh. Oops.
And there's a race of underdark giants, Cyclops, that Chase also learned are called Fomorians. No relation.
Good job, Chase.
Yeah. That is Austin.
Austin.
They explain that we're cool now, and the Cyclops tribe comes up and greets you into this grove. Vonsog explaining that Duthor had sensed the disturbance coming from the grove, and the change of the power that was there days ahead of time, weeks ahead of time. And they've been waiting for something to happen around this grove, and not entirely with good intentions. They've, like, the first thing that they did was chuck a warning shot at you.
No, I mean, they're doing their job.
They're doing their job.
I mean,
Um,
we did put him here for exactly that reason.
Yes.
I mean, defend the grove was the thing we told them to do, so that it is, 10
Yes,
out of
but
10.
typically defending the grove from outside.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So, in that same conversation, Von Sog explains, it's been months since you left us. It is nearly winter.
Ugh.
It is a relief that it has only been months. I was told before we entered that there was a different kind of possibility. It could have been years or more.
Yes. Yeah, it could have been years, it could have been less, it could have been instantaneous. But it is nearing winter, and you see the dappled colors of the still kind of healthy fall colors of the grove. But you also know, well, Despero, you'd be the only one remaining who knows this, that the country of Heavensreich is unnaturally kind of terraformed. It was given a blessing by by Melora, the goddess of the harvest, and is kind of perpetually in a, like, California level. It doesn't really get too cold, doesn't really get too hot.
One season
get-
pretending to be like 2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't really have a lot of snow in Heavensreich because of that. So, but they have like a summer and a harvest season and a rainy season. So you guys are entering the front end of rainy season. Yeah, and you can explain that or not to the rest of the group. They'll
Yeah.
figure it out.
I will, but there's a... So, Despero says, because we are now many, more than our number when we initially entered, and because Zog, as you've no doubt noticed, we are missing now too. There's much to discuss, and given that you said it's been months, given that we are now approaching winter, there's probably much you could tell us also. But as you can no doubt
I'm
see, we are bloody and tired.
Yes, your battle seems fierce. The blood of your enemies suits you.
Thank you.
And I noticed the drake and the tree.
Yes. Both of my contractors, the eldest and your guardian, have perished. Though, and Despero looks over his shoulder back at the tree. Your guardian less so. I'm told she'll be back one day.
And for that one day we will wait and guard the home she gave us.
Is there a place more suitable than this to rest and for us to catch up, such that it is?
He kind of does a circle with his hand, and the still kind of standing awkwardly aside few warriors of the Cyclops kind of collapse on the group a little bit and help you guys. And they take you it takes about half an hour, maybe a little longer because you guys are so injured, to get up the hill a ways, into the edge of the hinterlands up here.
Well, before we head up into there, there's one other thing. Joe kind of looks to Duthor a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
The sacred land that she kind of like air quotes sacred land because she's doing it for them because it's sacred to them. It has fallen, but it will be rebirthed anew in due time.
Oh yeah, that's kind of important. Forgot about that. She translates through Von Sog or Farhad, whoever. She says that she had sensed the decay of the power and the transformation of the power of the Feywild in recent weeks. and that the power is still there, but it's distant, detached, disconnected. And she doesn't know she didn't know what that means until your arrival here. But as you explain that, and it takes a while for them to kind of get it through their heads that the place is just destroyed. It takes the Cyclops quite a while to fully understand the gravity of the situation. And with the seed that you've been given, you guys know that you can plant it here, or you can try and find another like powerful Thane to put it in.
I mean,
So that's something to put up to you guys.
I honestly, like, I would not like to have the Feywild be in our pocket as we walk around.
Yeah, no, true. I don't see why you couldn't just plant it here. It's got guards in the form of like Cyclopses, and
It's hard to conceive of a better place than this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Yeah.
it's also less known.
Mm-hmm.
Not very many people know about this grove.
I would say keeping it here.
It's
Also,
the
it
newest
also
one,
has-
technically, right?
Well, there may be more people who know about it.
I would
there's
say,
also,
yeah.
Also, Mel's Grove is protected by Fey magic, which is the stuff that when you walk in, you have to make
Yeah,
like
yeah.
wisdom saving throw. Yeah, that's still present. So,
Let's.
Yeah.
I
So
would.
I think
Cyclops
planting it here
is-
is a reasonably good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they'll set about doing that, planting that tomorrow as soon as you guys are all recovered, because the ritual will not be a short one.
Of course.
geez, okay. Nothing
Um,
can. I guess replanting a plane of existence is not like an easy task.
Right.
It's not dig a hole and plop the seed in it.
Yeah.
Dump some
Yeah.
water on top.
Don't, you don't put you don't just chuck Easy Grow in a pot with this one.
We just kick some dirt over this dimension real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they take you up the hill to rest. They have kind of a base camp, a lower base camp in the hinterlands here, that they use to watch over this grove. And you can see a number of, even in it's only been maybe a couple of months, and he confirms that it has been about 6 months since you guys left. That you see a number of children. Apparently, Cyclops have a very short gestation cycle, and you see a number of very young children, and the numbers are swelling. They seem to be healthy here. They have food. They have a spring they're using for water up in the hinterlands, and their camps are very, very well concealed by Duthor's druidic magic and kind of more permanent protections around them. They don't seem to want for much here. It seems to be a pretty good place for them. You guys go up and you're treated to basically a feast. They throw everything they can at the wall, and Duthor expends not a small amount of magic to conjure food. And you eat and drink and be as merry as you can in the light of the harrowing experience you just had. I will go ahead and give you guys all a long rest.
Hey.
Oh, thank you.
Nope, that's initiative. There's the rest.
Thank
I would
goodness.
My spell slots back and some health back. Please.
I'll give
Thank
you guys a whole long rest rules for initiative.
Hey Chase, I noticed I'm actually supposed to have 20 con now.
Are you?
Yeah.
Are you
Oh,
just
yeah.
the thickest, tankiest motherfucker in the world?
So
Casino?
we'll need to recalculate your hit points.
Yeah. My hit points
Are you
on my
doing
D&D my hit points on my D&D Beyond sheet says 149.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so it's
Holy shit!
my base score is 15, my racial bonus is +2, I have +3 with ability improvements. And so that equals
you just calculate your current level. So it's
Yeah, I was trying to
12 plus 5 plus 11 plus 5, or plus 11 times. Hang on.
Well, if we're having a
Yeah.
feast, I have to post this. It's obligatory. Forgive me.
Oh.
Despro's gonna do it.
Alright.
Anyway, but from what my hit points are calculated through D&D balance, 149.
Yeah. So
And you
these
take half
rolls
damage
up to
from
6.
everything.
Can you stream, Joe?
So you,
Well, not everything. Physical attacks.
Yeah, piercing, bludgeoning, and slashing.
Yeah.
so you effectively, at certain points, have almost 300 health, is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Somebody whips out the snow,
That's-
like, yeah.
Disgusting.
Also why Bear Totem needs to be eroded, because it's the strongest thing in the game.
Yeah.
But I'll be right back.
Yeah.
That's
So the
just
thing, I mean,
disgusting.
there's a really nice thing that I've discovered with barbarians and fighters, especially Julian, who's tanky as a motherfucker. He's got 24 AC.
Oh,
Um,
Jesus Christ.
He's very hard to hit, and he has a lot of. He's got like almost 100 something hit point, like 113 hit points. Austin gave me this lovely piece of advice, and it's called "Hit him in the nads," the non-attribute defenses.
I love that the acronym is NAD.
I know
I do love
it's
that
it's
the acronym
delightful.
is NAD.
It really does. Put a smile on my
That's
face.
that's good. That's good. I gotta remember that one. I gotta
Hit 'em in the
remember that.
nads, the non-attribute defenses. Hit their wisdom, hit their int. hit
I'll-
their- yeah.
I'll
I love
remember.
the idea of saying that, but as, like, Cephalon,
Hit them in
fuck,
the
what's his name?
nads.
Hit them in the nads. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, go on.
Yeah, fucking Cephalon Psy.
Yeah.
Uh, speaking of Psy, we got a new Warframe update in a few days.
I know. It's coming
Yeah.
out soon. I'm excited.
The 6, right?
Yeah,
I
it's 6.
still need to do
Anyway.
railjack shit.
We'll get there. We'll get there,
So leave
Nikki.
My ship. Okay.
All right. So you guys have a long rest. You eat, drink, and be merry. And as soon as the sun goes down, the drow are much more comfortable. Tyr spends about half the time fawning over, Von Sog and Duthor, or kind of like puppying up, and Von Sog's like, oh, you've gotten big. Oh, oh, what's this harness? What's this shit? You're strong now.
Yeah, Joe's letting Tyre have some old family time because it's her original. It's Tyre's original pack, so she
Yeah.
kind of understands that. So.
And not normally a particularly social animal, wyverns,
Mhm.
but Tyr, having grown up, especially with the other pets in Von Sog's menagerie, grew up a very social adolescence.
Again, now I feel bad for killing his friends earlier in the campaign.
Yeah, it's okay. And you see, Von Sog has like 2 young wyverns. And he eventually like goes and retrieves them, and kind of Tyr kind of bullies them for a little while.
Show him his dominance. Good boy.
He has two wyverns and a baby griffin.
Aww.
Wow.
And
Oh, that
it,
was
Two girls
YouTube, too.
immediately are like,
Yeah.
baby Wizard!
it really is
Baby Griffin!
it really is a baby griffin. It is like a hatchling, like puffy feathers, and its beak isn't quite fully formed, and it's still kind of instinctively just putting its mouth open for food. Like it's fucking itty bitty, and Von Sog goes from very much like he's been wearing this long cloak made of mostly probably bear fur pelt, and he's kind of fallen into that chieftain role. You can see him settling disputes and having a lot more responsibilities now. But he immediately drops the demeanor whenever he gets near his pets, and he's like bottle feeding this baby griffin whenever it squawks. Like he's got a bite of food like halfway to his mouth, and you hear just a off in the distance, and he just immediately drops whatever utensil he's using and stands up and rushes over there.
So Christina's fawning over this like it's the cutest thing in the world. Joe could care less.
Yeah, Joe's like protein.
Kindball also doesn't give a fuck, but Nikki, on the other hand, wants a baby griffin now.
I'll say right
Okay.
now Joe's thoughts are on the vision she got before she woke up during the final battle, before the final battle. So she's thinking.
Well, speaking of Joe and Kindball and Riol and Hermesid and the Sun Prince and all these fucking drow, Despero says, right, we've all eaten, now that we've obtained some rest, I think before we turn in for the evening, we should have a discussion about the future. Because as I see the situation, while I am lucid enough to speak my mind clearly, most of us assembled here, aside from, of course, our kind Cyclops patrons, were not here when we began this expedition. 2 of our number are dead. Which means it might be worth our time to evaluate what we're going to do with ourselves. I, for my part in the matter, do have duties here on the Prime Material Plane. But you, Riol, you, Kindbell, you, Farhat, and even you, Joe. 3 among you, I know nothing about your intentions or the way you conceive of the future, what you're going to do now that you're out of the Feywild, or even how you happened upon the Feywild. And Joe, I think we can both agree with full confidence that the contract that you initially set out with us to complete has expired. You owe no duty to us, and I say the word us in the limited way such that we are.
As a note,
Do
when you address Real,
Mhm.
you look around and you see a creature with pink hair.
Oh,
But you don't see the one you remember.
oh shit. That's jarring. So when Despero gestures to Real ? His voice has that lilt of confusion, of like, Real?
Oh. I fucked up. Never mind. Disregard statement.
Alright,
Oh.
I don't know that, you didn't say that, didn't
I
you?
didn't
Okay.
say that. Never mind.
It's fine. Kindball is just sitting there sniffing the food suspiciously, cause he was literally born yesterday. He has no idea if this is what is supposed to be eaten or not. He's just sniffing it.
Yeah,
So
he's
is there some
sniffing it,
shit
and
I should know about that, because it's the second time you've said that today, and I was not here for the session where Kindball was introduced. What do you mean, born yesterday?
Oh, don't worry about it.
Alright, I'm not gonna worry about it.
Yeah, you were there for the session where Kindball was introduced, but that was it. Oh, the vision and horse hooves.
The
That's it.
only
Oh, I
thing that
guess-
Kindball
yeah,
has
okay.
ever said to the party at all ever is they are coming.
Alright,
That's
it
it.
was literally some Harbinger shit. That's
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Charged it and says they
Literally
are
some
coming.
horseman harbinger of the apocalypse shit, but the horseman and harbinger.
Well,
are
he's
the
a deer.
same nigga.
He's a
Alright,
deer.
fine.
He's a deer.
Rolled in, turned around, said they are coming, and then we went straight into battle.
Mhm.
And that's the only thing you have ever heard Kindball ever say.
Yeah,
Alright.
Kindball, this is your first opportunity, maybe ever, to have a rest. You,
Baby's first rest. Aw.
yeah, quite literally, baby's first long rest. All these people are putting away their weapons and stuff, and like, what's this stuff in front of them? I mean, you have this urge to eat. You do know that you have to eat, to sustain yourself.
But also, what the fuck is food?
Yeah, but also what's edible and what's not. You're looking at like leaves on trees, like maybe that. Nah.
He's
And
just sniffing the bowl of whatever the fuck is in front of him, like,
yeah.
Yeah, like
And
and
as-
Joe next door is
your
just
confusion. Oh, yeah.
Joe next door is just taking a piece of meat that's on bone and just like
Yeah, yeah. Just gnawing on it. Like Joe resists the urge to death roll. And seeing your confusion, actually, with a very good insight check, Duthor comes up and, like, in Sylvan speaks to you and says, like, hey, I see you're a little confused. This'll be good for you. You should eat it. And puts food in front of you, but it's been tailored. It's been doctored so that it looks appetizing to you. She seems to
will-
understand what you're going through.
He just kind of grunts in acknowledgement and starts, like, he picks up one piece and just, like, puts it in his mouth, and then, like, a little sparkle happens in his eye as he proceeds to then, like, shove it in his face faster and faster.
Yeah,
No, there are now 3 people here
Yep.
with 0 table manners.
Yep.
Negative table manners.
I
The
was gonna
table's
say we got-
probably broken
I'm a
manners.
we got-
grazing animal. Fuck you.
Yeah,
I'm
we got-
a grazer.
We got 3 different dudes of the same picture of the dude eating cereal.
That's why I posted it. It's fucking obligatory, man.
That's
It's
amazing.
lunchtime.
God, that's
Yeah.
a good picture.
It's my favorite. Anyway,
Picture's worth 1,000 words.
dude, seriously.
the look in his eyes, the cereal on his
Yeah,
left
he's a
hand.
beast, and those fucking what the fuck are those Frosted Flakes? Those Frosted Flakes are getting fucked
They don't
up. I
stand a
respect this man.
chance. They don't stand a chance.
Anyway.
God, I love Frosted Flakes. I wish
Oh, good.
I wish I could drink milk.
Ah, Chase.
Oh, I
Okay.
forgot you're lactose
Yeah.
intolerant.
I have finally accepted that I am just lactose intolerant. That's the issue.
I'm still fighting mine.
Yeah.
I'm still fighting mine. I don't care. I'm still fighting him. I love cheese and milks and ice cream too much.
I do, but no matter how much lactate I take, I cannot counteract a certain amount of milk.
But
Another
ice
time when
cream,
we're not in
Chase,
session, remind
but
me to send
fucking
you,
ice
Chase.
cream, bro.
Another time, Chase, when we're not in session, remind me to send you some videos by a YouTube channel called Thought Emporium. I'm only bringing this up because he synthesized, I don't know what the word is, he basically cultured a bacteria, there it is. He cultured a bacteria sufficient to remove lactose intolerance by introducing it to the gut biome. This guy is a professional in stoichiometry and a lot of other science shit. He even showed like that little weird wheel chart that shows the exact structure of the bacteria you're trying to and how to eliminate it if it goes into autoclave, all that. He's insanely genius.
I'm interested in that
And-
because that's also exactly what May
That's what May does,
for
right?
me,
Yeah. Yeah, she could. Yeah. Anyway, I'll send you that. I'll send you
Could
that.
May synthesize you? Oh my god, we keep
It's not
announcing you until you're not lactose intolerant.
It's not impossible.
This is
yeah.
the
It's
future.
not impossible. Anyway.
Yeah.
So completely lost my train of thought.
Well, we were talking about how bad these table manners were, but before that, Despero was kind of
So they-
accosting everybody, like, "What's your future, bitches?"
Yeah, okay, so you see the group of drow who have kind of, clustered together in their own clique, unsure and unable to communicate mostly with the Cyclops. A couple of them have extremely rudimentary common, but it's very much ye old English
Mm-hmm.
version of common.
Mm.
Because literally the last time they were on the Prime Material Plane was about 1,000 years ago.
Right.
And they are eating and they appear relaxed amongst themselves, at least. They can sense that they're out of danger for the time being, for possibly the first time in a very long time. And they all, well, Coley, the armorer lady, fuck, I forgot all their names. The Council of Levros and let me just go find their fucking list of their names. Yeah, Kuvrik, that's the one I'm looking for. Yeah, so Kuvrik, Coley, and Councilor Levros are energetically discussing things, and as you draw the attention of the crowd, they kind of separate from their conversation. And Coley comes up and says some stuff in Undercommon, and then she realizes that nobody but Farhat can understand her, and then kind of like gestures at the counselor for help. The counselor says, "Well, you're not wrong. We have had a drastic change of plans since over the last couple of weeks, shall we say, young Voine, and our plans were somewhat upended as well. The perpetuation of the Feywild is, I feel, a debt that we owe to Titania, if nothing else. And for our part, our original mission still must stand. Our original mission, which, I must be transparent, had been clouded from our memories in the Feywild, was the salvation of our people. We left under duress as we were being exterminated by knights, by the orders of several gods. The Knights of the Dawnbringer, the Platinum Dragon, and the Arkard wiped us out. I don't know the reasoning behind it, but our queen, an elf made divine, or a divine embodying an elf, I'm not sure, betrayed us. Betrayed all that we stood for. And we, as a society, were blamed for this betrayal. You may have noticed in the Feywild our reservation about the Spider Queen, Lolth. Her betrayal forced our hand, and I, and my trusted associates here, were all that escaped under my watch. And we escaped to the only place we knew. Our intention was to look to a way to reverse the damage that had been done by these invasions. Ultimately, I do not think our mission was successful. We found that the time dilation properties of the Feywild were insufficient for us to change the past. And indeed, one of our number disappeared with this while we tested this theory that it could be done, and he was destroyed, I fear. Now, so you guys have communicated with the Drow, basically, the timeline here. Now, according to our calculations, we were in the Feywild for a little over 300 years. However, in the Prime Material Plane, a millennium has passed. So, my men and I are possibly the last Drow. There was one other group who undertook a foolish endeavor to possibly save some of our people. I do not think it would work. They were to use our command of Dunamancy and Graviturgy, Dynamis, to move part of our capital city to another plane. The ritual for this was interrupted, and was the last time I had seen the Drake that you most recently called Kitchlorn, and my assassin, Lady Death. I don't know what has happened since then, but Lady Death was the one that struck down Nyx, and Melifia, and Kitchlorn again.
And we now have a name for that.
She introduced herself as Nothurth this time. Now, I don't know. I wasn't sure I recognized her at first, but her fighting style is unmistakable. I trained her for much of her young life in Kefalio Gatto, our capital. She was a fearsome assassin of Lolth in her time, and only gained power when that devout fool clung to her, now known as Kitchlorn, in our tongue, Gulma. Once I knew it was her, I had no choice but to help us escape. My word of recall is what got us out of that. pit once the fight had already been lost. But I digress. My mission is incomplete, and I fear that she causes a minor illusion to appear. And I'm just going to show you this guy.
Oh, geez.
Graviturge Searth was my counterpart on the Arcana, and I saw no hope for his mission. To transport a city of such size without the proper ceiling stones in position, without the proper gateway crests in position, was a fool's errand. And yet he insisted on it. Were he successful, he would have taken a large chunk of the city with him to another plane. It was an act of desperation, and could have left. I dare not speculate. The damage in the Underdark could have been beyond my imagination. So as to my plans, as to our plans, our survival, this group's survival, is paramount to our species' survival. I know not the state of the world, I know not the state of the Underdark, I know not the state of Kefalio Kato, nor our research facilities. There's so much we don't know. I would like to investigate the Underdark. I would like to find out what happened to our home, and if it can be rebuilt or saved in any way. Matthias steps up at this point. He comes up kind of not next to you, kind of perpendicular to you, but he certainly looks at you, Despero, for approval before speaking.
Despero eye to eyes real quick. Dead in the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Nods.
He's got his brow's lowered. He's got a squint to his eyes, a Clint Eastwood squint to his eyes.
1,000 yards there, all right? Yeah.
I'm not gonna try and do his voice. My voice is fucked. I too had a mission. I admit I am not a clever man, and I got very, very lost on my mission. I was accompanied by two young Voin, Luke and Sarmina. The three of us were from from the most recent, although I suppose it's not the most recent now, there may have been another one, graduating class, if you will, of Voin warriors. And our Valar right was to find someone labeled heretical. Heretical is maybe a strong word. Someone who has greatly offended our ancestors.
Do you know their name?
Ardana.
We know Ardana.
You do.
Despero's composure, his expression does not even twitch at all.
Joe, Ardana's your boss.
Mm-hmm. Joe's just gonna take a deep breath and is gonna sigh. But she's not gonna say anything quite yet. Now is not the time to discuss such things in front of a bunch of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ardana continues to pervert the magic of our ancestors to her own ends. And we fear she is building a following of those too short-sighted to see what our ancestors would wreak in our bodies, in our forms. She perverts the magic to her own gain and defies the will of the elders. I was investigating one place that she had perverted when I was whisked away to the Feywild. This was 3 months into my journey, and I was on the trail of her enforcer, a mountain of a man who I do not know.
Yeah, we know him too.
My fellows were not taken into the Feywild with me. Or if they were, they are long dead. But I do not think they were. So my primary purpose now must be to find Luke and Sarmina. My blood brothers. And sister, I suppose.
So Chase, keep me honest here, but I remember Despero and Matthias having a conversation about this, albeit a very brief one, because we had a lot of shit to do at the time. Like, a lot of fucking shit to do at the time. But if my memory serves, Despero agreed to discuss loosely with Matthias some of Marna's background. He didn't mention her by name, but I knew who he was talking about, and said to Matthias at the time something resembling of, you should go to meet her to determine the validity of your mission.
Yes.
And see at that point whether it is valid for you to carry it out. And if that's the case, I will not stop you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that. And he acknowledges that.
Yeah.
But he also wants to find his two companions.
Yeah,
first.
A before B, yeah.
After that, we can go and see the validity of the claim of the elders. They are not infallible, nor is any man. And just for reference, I've shared the picture of Matthias.
Yeah, big guy.
Yeah, big guy, big axe, big dagger.
Wing gang, motherfucker.
Yeah, and I want to show you the picture of Luke just because it's fucking cool, even though you haven't seen him yet.
Oh, it's cool as shit. Look at him.
Yeah.
Look at that fucking skimmy on him, too. That's a cool ass sword.
Yeah, he's got three of them. And I had a picture of Sarmina kicking around, but I don't know where it went. So I'll find it.
Oh, shit.
Let's see who else has to talk in the group. The Sun Prince expresses. Oh, hey, House is on your group right now. The Sun Prince expresses that he needs to find this imposter of that is impersonating him, but he has fucking no lead, not a one. And House isn't here, and her message expresses that in her diminished state, she thinks it would be good to guard for herself to guard the grove. As she's basically a spirit now,
Yeah.
she's not a full
She
being.
fucking looks like one. Yeah.
Yeah, she's just a wisp of she's more akin to a dryad than anything else now. And she could assist. She doesn't have to sleep or anything, so she could assist in defending the grove and keeping it safe. So as a group, what are your remaining objectives? Real Job, if you're back.
Yes, what's up?
The real Joe.
You were asked about objectives.
Yeah, so
Far
just to
ahead, I'm
recap
going to
extremely
decline.
briefly. Yeah, just to recap extremely briefly, Despero basically said, I'm paraphrasing, look, we just went through a lot of shit. A lot of y'all didn't go in there with this, but you certainly came out with this. What does your future look like? We should probably coordinate before we just set on a path arbitrarily. Yeah.
Let me share a map as well.
Because
I'm
Despero knows exactly
Joe
what
Joe will
he's
make
doing.
sure to, because she's not gonna just let them go out and the drow to go out and survive out in this world that they do not know right now. So she'll probably at least share a map with them and tell them this is where this type of people are. This could have changed since I was last here, but so way in the northeast is a bunch of people who don't like magic, so careful. Just east of here is a bunch of people who are followers of the Dawnfather, so be careful. You know, basically giving them a quick runaround of factions and places she knows of, which is just generic, like bullet points, like These are where the sun praisers
Yeah,
are. This
yeah.
is where the anti-magic people are. She's not gonna go into like deep detail, but she's gonna at least give them something and a map.
Yeah. So I'm just drawing outlines, except my thing's being fucking laggy.
That's okay.
There we go. Yeah, those are your 3 big countries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys are currently here.
Yes. So-
Okay.
Is the circle where we
Are currently,
Hold
yes. Yes.
That's the grove.
okay.
Yeah, you guys are in Melithia's Grove. So in Despero, you are the only one familiar with Heaven's Reich itself, as the only one who's traveled any distance of it in this party. Actually, I don't know where Farhat's from. We had talked about it, I think, but it's slipped me for the moment. Von Sog confirms we have seen. Joe, you mentioned that things may not be quite as they were last you left. We agree. The shiny men are all over the roads here. They wear golden armor, or gold-colored armor. They fly around in their pompous airships, riding on the backs of griffins with weapons attached.
Mm-hmm.
They have functionally taken over Milgard, which is the city right here, right adjacent to you guys, which
Mhm.
is where Kitchlord got shot out of the sky by the fucking orbital strike.
Yes.
And their scouts have pushed towards the forest from the Fortress of the Sun, which is there.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I think Joe would
And-
probably ask on how. I think that the group would ask like on how. Hey, how's have the douches been bothering you?
The
They-
sun douches.
they only bother them if we show ourselves. Their scouts have been poking around, but just to get the lay of the land, it seems. And the druidic magic of Duthor and now Hermescent can help dissuade them from that, and the natural magic of the grove.
Cool. Good. Sweet.
The Cyclops, in the months they have been here, the furthest they've gone is this lake.
Mm-hmm.
And now it is also under Straveldi Solaris control,
great.
as is this logging town.
Okay.
So, from your assessment, it looks like on the map, everything that you can look at that the Cyclops know of is controlled by Straveldi Solaris.
Great.
They have tried not to engage as much as possible. Yeah, and that's basically all the Cyclops know. They've kept to themselves as much as possible and hidden as much.
Okay.
as
Well,
possible.
just
After
yeah.
the contextual expose. Sorry, go on, bro.
I was gonna say just probably at that point we're just gonna say stay in the grove. Only attack if they start getting too far into the grove. Stay safe. Don't cause any kind of ruckus unless they start it first.
Yeah, and he mentions that we are acting like natives to this land.
Mm-hmm.
We are just keeping our distance and letting them do their thing. Their troubles do not concern us.
Good. Keep it that way. Okay, that's all I wanted to address.
Is Rial gonna answer what, you know?
Yeah, it's Real's turn.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I approach the drow and tell them that, like, clearly you must know that I'm younger than the rest of you. I actually that's because I actually came from this land this time. I have a family I'd like to see again. Though it warmed my heart to know that there were more drow in the Feywild, and that is why I came to search for you.
So you say this, and Counselor Levros and Coley and Kubrick, to a degree, they're not particularly surprised. The rest of them are. And they go like, "Is your family like you?" Like us?
No, they're mixed. They're humans.
Humans. How did you come to live among? How did you come to us? How they have myriad questions.
They accepted me when I was by myself, when I was alone.
You are younger than. You are much younger than us. Make a persuasion check for me.
Ooh.
I believe.
I believe.
Believe. Believe.
Hang on.
I definitely did. When I made my hot chocolate for this one. I definitely did like the 2 shots of vodka. Glug, 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 glug.
Oh god, please.
Because I was talking to Andrew at the time and didn't realize I did it.
Oops.
Hand
Oh,
pouring,
God.
face turning
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's real heavy on the peanut butter whiskey.
But the fact that you're mixing peanut butter whiskey with hot chocolate, does it taste like a fucking alcoholic Reese's Pieces?
Yeah,
Oh shit.
it's
What is
really
it?
good. It's
Oh,
really
shit.
good. Okay, yeah. It takes it like for a second the drow were all surprised, but as you explain it, they're like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Seeing especially seeing their leader just be like, yeah, cool. Especially Coley and Kubrick are both like we'll be sad to see you go, but we understand your place is not with us. It's elsewhere.
Thanks
We-
for
we hope-
understanding.
Yeah, we hope to keep you around as long as we can, but obviously you have things you need to do.
I believe the group, this band of misfits, might be able to reunite me with them, and I'll choose to travel with them for until then.
Despero takes
They-
exception to the word misfits and like claps the sheath of his sword onto the ground. Warriors.
Oh, wars.
Yeah, Far Hat's in the background like, no, they were right. Misfits. As he goes back to playing cards with the drow, with a couple of the soldiers. All right. So the Cyclops commit to defending the grove some more, and tomorrow they'll perform the ritual to rebind the seed of the Feywild, and it is just that. Like you guys are talking like it's an entire plane. It's really not. It's really just a seed right now. But hopefully from it, a new branch can be born that will anchor and form a new Feywild.
Yes.
It will be new. It will be chaotic. It might not be soon.
It might be forever away. Oh,
It
well, I
might be a
never got
really
to
bad
answer-
idea.
I never
You
to
never
answer
got to-
Jared's question.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Still have Joe and
didn't you?
Pineball.
I think Joe should go first, and Kaiba will probably answer last because he's that kind of character, you know.
So then, if that's the case, Despero's gonna reprise this question, just the last part of it, just the part for Joe. The contract you agreed to, that appended you to this party, is over. What will you now do?
Joe's just kind of pauses for a moment and she kind of looks to the. She kind of takes the black axe off of her back and kind of lays it in her lap and she kind of looks into the blade. Before this weapon appeared before me, before the final battle, I got a vision of a place and of people I do not recognize, but are familiar at the same time. And we'll need to go to... and we'll need to know the meaning of it. Whether that be with you or by myself. It is up to you if you wish to follow, but I do not care either way.
Sorry, can I get that last sentence again?
It is
I
up.
do not care either way, but just the.
It is. I will go either way. It is up to you if you wish to follow.
Do you have any idea where these familiar figures might be?
Ancestors. My ancestors.
But where might they be?
She kind of blinks and kind of shakes her head. I'm going back to the notes of the vision because Christina can't remember on the top of her head.
Well, Desper will
the-
add. Sorry, go on.
The message that I wanted to give you from that vision is I'll resend it just a second.
I have it right here.
It does add, if we are to follow you, any of us at all, you will need a heading. Otherwise, you cannot follow even your own footsteps. We, Navoyan nomads, know this all too well. A destiny is not a destiny if you do not know which direction to walk.
For a place of ruined dead landscape, black clouded skies, perpetual night, snake-headed men. That is all I can remember of that place from the vision.
You do know that your friend Toby,
Mm-hmm.
in your brief encounter with him, had an artifact of those snake men.
Right. Sorry, it's been a while since that session. And I didn't record
It's
it.
been like a year, right?
No. That's where I got the giant belt. You weren't there for that. You weren't there for
that was
Oh, the one shot.
yeah.
yeah that was the crossover one shot.
Would I know where that is,
Bro,
Chase?
non-dissentingly, he
You don't know where that is, but you know where he is. You know vaguely where he is.
Where Toby is? Where was that again?
Yeah, he's in the Prowlum Dynasty for
Yeah.
dwarves.
Right. Harlem Dynasty was where a comrade of mine, who might have a better lead of it than I, currently is. We'll probably head to him first.
just wouldn't say any words. He nods assentingly. And his eyes snap over to Kaimbo. And it's a little bit obvious from the way he's conducting himself that he's like making the most of his lucidity while he has it, because he has this emergent awareness when he's with any of the Voyin that this is a rare opportunity for him. So he's being as alert as he can afford to be. He says, Centaur.
Kaimball is currently chewing on a piece of salad and like a few leaves are like sticking out of his mouth.
Wait, like
Kinda
horse
turns.
chewing? Like,
Yeah, like
with
horse
the molars
chewing,
and shit?
like,
Oh, God.
Yeah. Got some salad in his mouth. There's like a couple of leaves hanging out the side.
Yeah.
Like think like you know how when the look when horses chew food?
Yes.
Where it's like
The
yeah,
jaw
that's kinda
rotates
what's
and
happening.
shit? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's happening.
God.
Oh yeah, so I look at her and
Him.
and
And look at him.
what else does that mouth do?
Oh, Jesus.
Turn 360
Yo, you need to keep it in
degrees
your
and walk
pants,
away.
dude. Like,
What's your excuse? His excuse. Not wearing
uh,
any.
and he tries to speak and then realizes he can't really speak with his mouth full and proceeds to just kind of like spit it on the ground.
Hot.
No, don't call that hot. Not hot.
Yeah, spit that on the ground for me.
dumb, fuck off.
Oh, wait, do I say like, oh, you miss, and I gesture at my chest?
God.
Kaimball has no idea what's going on.
Joe's-
He has no
Jo-
context for any of it.
Joe's just gonna look at
Just
it.
like a fucking rocket-powered vagina. That thing is going places.
Joe's just gonna like stare at Rio and like, man, soft skins have the weirdest mating rituals.
Wait, is this
I
real?
mean, so do the lizard folk. They just involve a lot more violence.
Well, it's not strange to her.
No, it's not.
It's normal. But the soft skins are weird.
Oh, did you say this out loud?
No, she's thinking it.
Not
Alright.
backpedal, the immediate backpedal. Of like, do I want to have this discussion with Rael?
Not at the
No.
moment. Not at the moment. You're too new to know this information.
Kind of has no idea what spit on me here means. He just assumes that like, I don't know, it's just what these people do. Yeah, I don't know. Shrugs. And then he kind of sits for a moment and thinks. I feel I was created for one purpose. I think I know what that purpose is. But I do not know how to achieve it, and I don't know what it is to be here. When the Night Queen was lost, I was born. I was the reaction to her demise. I am a husk for her vengeance. And my only goal is to seek the one who destroyed her. And when that is complete, I do not know. But until then, there is only one thing I can do. Then he picks up another piece of lettuce and puts it in his mouth and keeps chewing.
Let me. Fuck off. Let me. Okay,
Well, no,
so
'cause
that.
he doesn't know he's not supposed to do
So
that.
well, let me. All right. So let me make sure I'm on page. So A, literally, cloven harbinger of vengeance, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So after he just tells us how badass he is at a fundamental level, he's like, "It's some good grass though," and starts grazing. Do I have that right?
Yes.
So what do you want?
Christ,
Counselor Levros, at this point, kind of
Nikki, what the fuck is your character?
peeks in on the conversation and is like, "Well," she kind of nods her head and like, "Whatever you are, Kindball, you said your name was."
Simple?
Simple?
Not this again.
I
Kindball.
really want to throw something at one of my symbols, but it'd be really loud.
He's here.
Do it, pussy, you won't. Do it, pussy, you won't. He's gonna do
Do it, pussy, you will.
it!
Get a ball bearing, fucking hurl it at your symbol.
Andrew's gonna kick down the door like, what the fuck is going on, Chase?
Oh, did my noise suppression catch it?
No, it did not.
Did you do it?
Yeah, I threw it.
Oh, we didn't hear it at all.
You know what?
I threw a granola bar and it hit 3 symbols.
Of course it was a granola bar. You know what? You were real one for doing it. I didn't hear it, but I believe you.
Yeah, my
I
noise
believe
suppression must have caught it.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah, Andrew's not home right now. I can hit whatever I want.
Alright, so granola shit percussion instrument confirmed.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
All right. So Counselor Leveros comes over and kind of.
Yeah.
If the one you seek is the one who destroyed Nyx, that is Nothurth, as she is known. I fear that wherever she went with her prize, it is not a place that we can reach easily. But I have started to wonder if these occurrences are not all so dissimilar. An invader from a foreign land brings an army from which we've never experienced, the likes of which we've never experienced, and absolutely ruins something that we have long upheld as a standard of the
Galactic Federation.
I've been playing too much Lancer. That we've long upheld as a system of I can't even fucking remember the name, the wheel, cosmology, the cosmic wheel. In our early conflicts with the Fomorians, Despero, you pointed out that they resembled some black goop, you called it, that had resemblance to something you'd fought before. An army of hyenas? Hyena men?
Knows they were. But yes, they did have among them some manner of putrid matter that was not dissimilar to the Fomorians we fought in the Fate Plane.
And similar to that, our flight from Kefalio Kato was preceded by unknown Duergar, who we thought previously wiped out as well, but Duergar who were exhibiting similar traits, that of strange decay. When they were destroyed, when their bodies burned, they left behind this black tar. And we had seen the destruction of the Duergar 500 years before the war ever came to Kefalio Kato, during the, she snickers, lovers' quarrel between Moradin and Baranar Truesilver. Baranar was struck down and the rest of her race exiled, where none could return. The Duergar were all but exterminated. Yet in the final days of Kefalio Kato, we fought them en masse. And I seem to remember in my time that Amlathana, the hand of the Arkheart, the not so secret order of erudite assassins that serve the Arkheart and my idiot siblings from the High Elves, wiped out hyena men such as the ones you spoke of. Tell me, did the gnolls, base word, did the gnolls have a leader among them who stood out? Not of their kind, like Nothurf was to the Fomorians.
Despero starts stroking his like, his chin hair.
Hey, hey, Jared, I'm just going to remind you, yes, there was, because I remember, because Mel was there and you were also there. I'm just going to be your memory bank right now.
Thank
There
you.
was one. We were under. You remember when we were underground and we were fighting? I don't remember her name.
Yeah, that
and then
motherfucking
we were
wizard
getting-
bitch earthquaked the fuck out of us.
Yes, and then the bombs were dropping on top of our heads. That's the bitch that was leading the gnolls. That's
That
the one.
bitch.
Yeah, that bitch. I don't know what her name is, but it was that bitch.
So Despero says, I am
There
paraphrasing.
There she is.
I am
There she is. That's that bitch.
I am paraphrasing to a degree that can only be called extreme. But Despero says, in effect, yeah, that bitch.
Yes, you have seen this character amongst savage gnolls. Didn't fucking fit. So I'm gonna write this down in my notes so that I can reference this later.
Thank you.
Your threads that we have to do. So Joe wants to find Toby.
Yeah.
Real.
Despero still needs to speak to his, but I'll do that after. Let's do
Okay.
it now.
Well, let me get these written down
Yeah,
first.
cool.
I'm just gonna write all caps vengeance for Kendall.
Well,
I am-
vengeance and grass,
I am-
right? Fresh grass.
I am a Vengeance Paladin. Also, I would like to note that Carmel is also a vegetarian.
He's also baby.
Yeah, that
Yes.
tracks.
So
I mean,
he's
he is-
Gerber grass for Kindball.
Baby who
He likes
needs his
lettuce.
grass
He really
pacifier.
likes lettuce.
Yeah, grass flavored baby food, just lawnmower trimmings, emulsified.
He seems to like whatever, because I remember you telling us that the Cyclopses were mostly vegetarian too, so
Yes,
I'm
they
assuming
are.
they gave him, yeah. So he seems to enjoy the vegetarian meal that was provided, whatever it was. Like these leafy things, yum, like those. Whatever this is, yum.
Despero
like
and
it.
Joe cannot begin to kind of relate.
Yeah. So the Drow want to find Kefalio Catho, and Matthias wants to find his bros and also Ardana. Is that everybody?
Nope.
Joe, Ria. No, I'm getting there.
Yeah,
Everybody that I've already talked about.
yeah, that's everyone we've talked about. I think the only people left
Sunprince,
is
Sunprince.
Sunprince. Yeah,
Sunprince needs
Sunprince.
to find the lead on his imposter.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kindball does have to respond to the Drow, though. All he's gonna say is, in that case, if these people seem to follow you, then I will follow. As in, he looks to the group,
Yeah.
and trouble seems to find you. Then mayhap this trouble may find you too.
You've seen, let's see, how many of those? Okay. Okay, and Despero, your goals.
Yeah, so I may as well roleplay this if you don't mind.
Yeah.
My directives are simple, which is good, given that it means I can be useful, I think, in due turn and order to all of you. I am a warrior of the Void, and I carry out the whims of my ancestors, and so I am a nomad, and my directive is nomadic. I seek only to find places of power in this world, to obtain them, and to activate them in the name of my ancestors, that the Voyin may continue to be, as we always have been, strong. What that means in the interim, given that my directives are as nomadic as they are, as I do not know where these places of power may be, is that my most effective and efficient point of order is to travel the corners of the land, and in following you, I think I will have a substantial opportunity to do that. Symbol, seek vengeance. I do not know.
It's not Symbol.
Kindball, sorry.
That's the one name it's not.
Yeah, but if this is in
Kindball.
character, it kind of fits.
Every now when I'm fucking referencing you, I'm just gonna be like. Anyway,
just Kindball, or Kimball.
Kimberly?
Kimball. Just go with Kimball.
Joe,
Just go with Kimball.
Joe, you seek out the substance of your vision. We know not where this wasteland filled with snake-headed men yet exists. Matthias, you must now find your compatriots, but if I've understood you correctly, you do not know where they presently are. So
They had other objectives. I could find them along the path.
Sunprince, you must find your imposter, but you know not where he is. It is clear also that the Drow stay here until such time as their opportunity to make their race again anew quickens, like the seed will no doubt quicken. Which means, among all of us, only one person is an actual bearing that they can use to plant their feet on the ground, and I will say what I've said before, that destiny is not a destiny until you know which direction you need to place your feet in. Your family, do you know where they are?
I do.
Then, if I may be so forward as to offer a suggestion, I think our first point of order should be to unite our comrade Viol with her family. And I think evidence will emerge as to our next objectives might take us on that path.
Rio, do you want to share where your family might be? Or-
We can do that later.
Okay. So the objectives you know then are Joe, you know vaguely where Toby is. And to slightly correct you, the counselor comes up and actually we do need to find at least an entrance to the Underdark such that it stands, as we will not survive out here in the sun of the material plane for very long, nor are we well adapted for winter, which Fonsuk has informed that we are approaching.
Being that is the case, Counselor, I would like to offer you a piece of information. I'm not sure that it'll be useful to you, but it is not within my right to keep this from you. What Despero is about to say refers to a person I don't remember the name of, but it was the fucking dope-ass, holy shit, I'm so cool, ancient sorcerer that we found Kitchelorn with.
Oh, yeah. So I was about to mention.
Yeah.
That Ragnield, whatever the fuck his name was.
Is the
scroll.
only other, like, you know, triple centurion, been around for aeons person here. He might be able to...
Archivist Eos Ilrandosa Ragniel Dusag.
There you go, that. Long-ass
Gives him
name,
height.
Chase. Goddamn.
Gives him
Eos,
height.
yeah. Archivist. So Eos Ilrandosa is his title, and it means, literally, it means without treachery, and more figuratively, it means it speaks the truth. I'm pronouncing his name.
Right.
And Ragniel Dusag is his name. And yeah, he's not just a sorcerer; he's a fucking ancient dragon.
Yeah. And so Despero will add...
Yeah.
Despero will add... I will not pretend that any words can suffice to apologize for genocide. So I will offer you no words of that kind. But Archivist is in blank place because I also forgot the location.
His archive did not have a name. It was just it was just known as the archive
Fair
for
enough.
you. So you could take, so on the world map here, you guys could go to the archivist's location, and then you could go to the Praolim dynasty to find both Matthias's comrades and Toby, and start looking for Toby.
So if we make, like, a little inverted L, we could hit the archives on the way.
Also, like, bringing back information from the one shot, wasn't there like an entrance to the Underdark somewhere in the Pearl Dynasty?
There are several.
Yeah.
Yes. By the nature of the mining expeditions that the Praolim dynasty has been pretty heavily investing in, there are many ways to get to the Underdark from the Praolim dynasty.
The Archivist might have more.
And the archivist might also be a help.
But this will only be useful to you if ancient knowledge is what you seek.
Well, ancient knowledge is all we have right now. And conferring with some similarly ancient folk may be helpful. However, you mentioned that this region is under the control of the followers of the Dawn Martyr.
Which I would suggest we avoid at all possible costs.
The
I fear
roads.
no man, so fear is not a part of my evaluation, but they do wield engines of destruction beyond the ken of any combat, honorable or otherwise. You have to be fleet-footed and quiet.
Quiet we can
He
be.
says quiet with like an annoying bite in his voice because he hates it.
Quiet we can manage. Fleet-footed we can manage. But direct combat would not do us well against the followers of the Dawn Martyr, as has been shown historically at least. They may not remember their old grudges, but it's not like I've known any sects of the gods to ever forget.
They're not too keen on us either.
Dragon. Sorry, Jargon.
Oh, they're not too quite keen on many outside their following either.
Yeah, that makes sense. She kind of follows up. Yeah, sounds about right.
It is within mine and my Voyan brothers' realistic capacity to guide you safely through the Dragon Spine Mountains. However, it has bifurcated by an outpost controlled by the very dynasty I'm trying to avoid. That represents a problem.
Which one are you worried about? Circle it on the
Yeah, I'll circle it. Give me a second. How the fuck do I draw on the map?
top right. Extend. Press the ellipses button. The toolbar.
This is it.
Yep, see it.
Yeah, drawing mode's the second button on the top right panel, the second from the left.
Got it. Yeah, yeah.
That one. Okay.
Yeah.
So that one, you know that this one is the Fortress of the Sun. And that is the home base of Starbeldi Solaris. Yeah, you guys can, if you guys go through that, you will have a hard time.
Gonna be a problem.
If you skirt it, you'll have a much easier time, but then there's no roads.
Right.
You could skirt through, you could go through the city called Heaven and up through Roker Keep. You could try and go through Milgard and then go around skirting the edge of this, or you could go all the way through the Bernhardt.
That's too much of a detour. That last option's too much of a detour. The city called Heaven, isn't it also controlled by the Chevalier Solaris?
You don't know that.
Ah.
You could assume that.
I'm
would be
assuming
a-
that.
That would be a very
Safe
wise
assumption.
assumption.
Yeah.
You also, that would be a safe assumption given they have everything else in the region under their control.
Right.
Um,
So-
you also don't know why the city why all this shit has happened. The last time you were here, it was a pretty relatively peaceful, if kind of a Mexican standoff of 6 different followings, all kind of coexisting, and had been for a couple hundred years. Perhaps the New Blood Squad might know something about that.
Yeah, actually.
Who are they?
Oh, fuck. Melifia's dead. Well, not dead, but you get me.
Yeah.
Malafia is a plant.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying I think she had the capacity to communicate with
Aridin, yeah.
Aridin, yeah.
Occasionally through dreams.
Yeah.
Aridin doesn't really sleep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the last time she was able to do that, it was only because he had been knocked out.
Right, I remember that. Yeah,
Yeah.
tied up and shit too. Yeah, okay.
To be fair, Aridin, you guys won't know this, but
Yeah.
to be fair,
Yeah.
to be fair, Aridin might already know that Malafia is dead,
Mhm.
or no longer very much alive. He has a piece of her with him, so I wonder. I don't know if that would have signaled to him that hey, Mel might be gone and shit might have gone south, but I think that it might.
You
So,
have no idea.
I have no idea,
Ultimately-
but hopefully it does.
yeah. Ultimately, our route is not Despero's decision to make, especially given that he's like, hey, I'm on that nomadic kick. I can probably be productive wherever the fuck I go. So this
Yeah.
should be a collective decision. Which route do we want to take? In my opinion, all 3 of our potential routes suck dick. But we at least know that the 3 southeasternly ones are faster than the more northwesternly one. I
Yeah.
think. Here, let me get the drawing tool out again.
Let me clear my scribbling off.
Yeah, you're all good. I think taking this route up through the mountains where Despero and Matthias can guide us, and then avoiding this outpost altogether by skirting this region, and then hoofing it basically through this little
Swamp.
kind of through this swamp, but taking advantage of just kind of like this mountainous barrier of inaccessibility and what is undoubtedly extremely difficult terrain for any like sizable forest.
So this is
Reobtain-
actually this is not a swampland. This is actually farming land.
Yeah. So-
This is actually very healthy farmland. It's
Okay.
the breadbasket of the Praelim dynasty. It's called Tormir.
Yeah, okay. And still, I'm not sure how open we want to be, but our first objective, unless we object to this, is here. So I'm thinking we hug the mountains as fast as possible,
Oops,
as much as
shit.
possible, because you're good. We hug the mountains as much as possible because you have 2 Voyant with you. They can guide you through them quickly. This is really our only danger point, and we're back in our turf. We arrive at our first point of destination with minimal conflict. And then
So
whether
So you know that this area is called the Fields of Pytum,
Mhm.
and is to be avoided at all costs.
Okay. Why?
It has been passed down in your
It has been foretold.
from your ancestors that area is crossed out on the map.
fair enough,
uh,
Mama said so.
Mama said so. And you also know that these mountains are very difficult. These
That's where
these
we live. I mean, well, I guess
you guys,
okay.
you guys lived in these mountains. Those mountains
Oh.
are much more tame.
Oh.
You
That
guys
changes
lived way
shit.
the fuck up here. Yeah, you guys
That
have
changes
your people have lived on the edge of the Praelim dynasty
Forever, basically. Okay.
forever. forever.
Shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
Well-
these mountains suck. These mountains fucking suck.
Well,
Well,
if then
my
what
initial plan kind of also sucks.
then what about how about we don't exactly follow the road here? How about we just follow along the side of the mountain until we get not next to the city but pretty darn close, then just do one crossover and then go from
Try
there.
and get around it.
Yeah.
Oh, cross over the mountains.
Yeah.
Again, crossing over the mountains would be
It still sucks.
very difficult. Yeah, these are like tectonic giant standout of
Okay.
nowhere mountains.
Like if you
Um,
slip, you're not just breaking your neck, you're like shattering
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
on the
yeah.
ground. Yeah, okay, yeah.
It's a long way down.
Okay.
It's intentionally inhospitable terrain. Part of the creation myth of the before Heaven's Reich was terraformed is that this was all that kind of stupid mountain level, and it was basically given to them by the gods that gave them a space to live amongst the mountains.
Okay.
Among the otherwise inhospitable, because you're in extremely close proximity to off the edge of the map, the plane of air. So if you zoom out your map, I'm going to draw a big fucking circle. Woo! That's the plane.
Mhm.
So you have the planes of earth, fire, and air all around the plane, and the center. The plane of water is in the center,
Okay.
beneath. So like, because of the geography of a literal flat plane, and the closer you get to the elemental planes, the worse the terrain gets.
Okay.
So like, you guys are on the absolute this edge here is the absolute edge of hospitable land before the plane of air. So like, this shit is hard here.
So my original plan then, now that we have that information, is untenably garbage. However, I do think there is a second best. Or, well, a first best, because my first plan is so garbage. We do well in the forest. We just survive being in the Feywild. We're good at forest. And it's going to be hard for any force of a size sufficient to threaten us to immobilize through a forest. So I think that at least the way we start, knowing what we now know, especially that this is no man's land, I'm going to erase that. I'm going to erase that unsuccessfully.
That's no man's land. So right click down to drawing, and then clear drawing.
Got it. Okay, I'll do that next time. That
You
said,
could follow
Fist.
the road if you have to.
that said, this, hold on, this is very doable for us. I didn't really need to go through the road, actually. Let me more clearly communicate this visually.
Can I give a really stupid suggestion that I suggest that none of you follow, but for the meme I would like to state?
It might not be stupid.
It is stupid. We could get a cart.
Alright, shut
and
up.
we could get a...
So,
And we have a horse.
and we have a horse. I actually have the pull strength to literally pull all of you on a cart.
you know what? It's
There's
actually a
like-
good idea.
There's like 40 people with you, by the way.
Well,
Okay, not all of them, but like our main party.
Yeah.
I could pull us all on a cart.
and there are people among us who could polymorph, or people who could run at like 63
Well,
miles per hour.
yeah,
Ian
but-
Bolt wishes he fucking could. Like,
Again, we have a party full
Survival.
of people. We have a party full. We're again doing the escorting the Cyclops thing yet again.
we're
Yes.
not actual Cyclops.
Yeah, I know they're
These
drow
guys
this
have the
time.
Survival instinct of more than a chip sandwich.
Yeah,
That is
so,
true.
So look. This is okay. I will now draw the limit of what we know is absolutely viable. Then we need to put our heads together, right?
Okay.
This is absolutely viable. We can do this. This wouldn't even be difficult. We can do this. We need to be unanimous about how we're going to get here from there.
I mean, one way or another, you're going to have to pass by civilization.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what we were trying to avoid because we're all fucking barbarians.
So
here, let's be honest.
okay. So is this technically a bigger city than this city?
They're both forts. And none of your party have seen this north one. That one is
A city
it's marked
called
on the
Heaven,
map
yeah.
as Roker Keep.
Roker Keep. Okay.
And this is the Fortress of the Sun. The Fortress of the Sun is more of a temple, but it's also the home base of the Storvaldi Solaris. So it is both necessarily a temple and a fortress, and also has a large amount of people.
Then I would
This
say
is the city called Heaven.
yeah,
The city called Heaven is the capital of Heaven's Reich.
yeah.
And these two forts, you've never been to Roker Keep, but this one, the Fortress of the Sun, is marked on your map, like with a big fortress. So,
Yeah. I mean, I would say since we don't want to, we might as well take the chance on the place we don't know anything about at the moment, because at least we know they don't have a big as frick cannon able to shoot at us.
That's true.
the biggest fuck cannon was
Might have-
here.
Oh, that was
all
there.
over in Milgard.
Okay.
I would also state that the biggest fuck cannon might also have moved on because it was on an airship, and the thing about airships is they're usually not docked permanently in one place.
True.
It has been a month.
I mean-
might
It's
have moved on.
6 months. Yeah.
6 months.
6
Yeah.
months, yeah. It's probably moved on.
True, but I don't know. It's just I have too little information about each of these places to really know, so I can't say for sure.
We need the cover of the forest and really anything for the drow. Other than that, we need to move at night. It's winter, so we'll have longer nights.
That is true.
It's like October. You're starting towards winter.
Yeah. We gotta travel during the night, or at least in a way that doesn't
Yeah.
hinder the drow as much as possible.
Stay off the roads, let the drow lead, or those who have night vision lead.
I'm not worried about our first thrust of movement because we just survived the Feywild. A mundane forest is not fucking with us for 2 seasons. I mean, it just can't. We just live the most possible forest. This is not gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
That is true. We did do the forest of forest.
So when we take like this vector of travel,
I know, but that's. I mean, it's technically kind of in the direction of where we need to go, but it's like it's actively walking away at the moment.
sure. I mean, we do have something that looks like this. I like the fact that a lot of what's here is open plain and we only bisect a road twice. So maybe even a safer way is we take what is probably, to most people who live in like proper civilization who aren't harebrained barbarians, do this, because that's more our style, and that's more risk averse. That's less risky for us. It'd be different if we were lay persons, but that's not what we are. We're a band of
We're
misfits.
also trying to avoid the roads at this point, because the roads means more likely to come across soldiers of the sun, and we don't want to
Right,
even deal with
so-
it. So
This route means we briefly bisect roads only twice, and we
Mhm.
can be careful about the way we do that.
mhm.
The thing I have a problem with is since the dynasty's out in full force, when we're navigating through these plains, are we gonna have any form of substantial way to hide ourselves, or are we gonna be open season for any airships that might be traveling?
You have traveled very briefly across these plains, Despero, and they
Right.
are plains. They are high taiga, like they are hospitable taiga made so by the gods. They are just they're flat.
Okay.
There's not much cover. There is low grasslands, and this green circle around the city called Heaven is like farming lands. But this is this is a mountain range. The only path you know through it is through that road.
So then, I propose one of two methods of getting across this route, if this is the route we want. And we're not married to this yet. We haven't said we're going to do this. But if we're going to do this, I propose one of two things. It'd be better if we can do both, but that might not be realistic. We either utilize the talents of our drow friends to conceal us to the fullest extent possible, or we go fucking fast. We hoof it, no pun intended, Kindle.
The drow, the counselor speaks up. Our Nubeni at this point speaks up. Our powers, our concealment abilities are excellent at night.
Yeah,
We are useless in the day. The Shadow Blades can literally not use their power during the day.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so we could probably reach the edge of this mountain range, over here, if we want. Wait till nighttime and rest between then, and then we're just gonna have to hoof it to the nearest mountain range, either whether that be here or here, whatever one we can get to before day. Even though this is a long way.
That's not going to be a one-day travel.
That's
There's no
certainly
way.
not. That's certainly not one day travel.
Yeah.
Given that we have the drow with us, we do have an opportunity. I think this is the best possible way to do it. by day, we just fucking just haul crazy ass. By night, we hunker down, become scarce. So what we're going to be is a daytime blip on the radar that's moving extremely fast. By night, we don't exist.
Well, but that's the problem though, is that they literally we can't defend them ourselves during the day. All we get to
That's
do is
not
run.
completely true. We just can't defend against a sizable force.
I mean, yeah, there's still 5 of you who are useful during the day.
True, but
If we're moving as fast as I hope we're going to be moving, they probably can't mount a sizable enough force to overtake us entirely, given that they will only have just like sighted us out of what
If-
roughly amounts to their force's peripheries, especially if they're just on like.
okay,
control.
yeah, okay.
What
So
the fuck was that? That might
Yeah.
work. Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say if the drow can conceal us during the night when we're out in the middle of the plains to allow us to rest, like very well, if they can completely like hide us, so we're not sitting ducks in the middle of the plains, then I would feel better about doing this. But it's still gonna be rough.
I mean, the drow are also much faster at night.
Yeah.
If you guys
Okay.
choose to sleep during the day and move at night, they are much
The
faster.
problem with sleeping during the day is we're not concealed at all.
Correct. You could also, and the drow, the Shadow Blades speak up at this point, like, we're useless, but the rest of our forces don't have to be. The counselor walks up and just shape changes in front of you. She changes to a pleasantly pale-skinned elf. Like, she looks like a wood elf, like a
Right.
Autumn skin.
There are plenty of those, yeah.
Yeah, and I and many of the others
Are
can disguise ourselves. We can disguise ourselves, at least temporarily. If that's what it takes, we could try and blend in among the roads should we pass any patrols and be an elven brigade from somewhere, I don't know. If that's what it takes, because I don't think running out in the open, waiting for patrols to find us and then be caught with our pants down, I don't think that's survivable.
Okay. Then
If
what?
we blend in and avoid suspicion in the first place,
Mhm.
subterfuge is not something that should be alien to our people.
Okay. Then if we do take a main road, which main road are we taking? Are we going down south to take this road over here and then go up from there just so we can avoid this city? But then again, we're getting closer to heaven.
If the
Or-
city called Heaven is as large as it sounds, then I think we could get lost in it quite easily. If we make our way through these southern roads, through these southern roads and up to the roads to the city called Heaven, and make our way through to this northern fort, we could do it. But I think that this route around west of the mountain range takes us too close to the Fortress of the Sun, and I am not eager to encounter them again.
That is true.
Even if they control the city called Heaven, I hope against hope that we can evade them long enough to get through the city and make our way out.
A point of information worthy of consideration, given that you're considering this path. I, and the party assembled before we met you, exempting Joe and Riolo, and Despero looks despondent for just a moment, but then he straightens up, gets back together. I was able to travel through the city of Heaven unabated before. Area Rylook was sent my way. I was, for all intents and purposes, welcome there. If we can all be disguised with us, the City of Heaven would not necessarily present a threat to us. However, even given that we make good on that opportunity well enough that we do not encounter any trouble, I would advise, if I may, haste through the city.
Haste is essential anyway. The longer we tarry here, the longer we have exposure to the forces of the Dawnfather. I think your ideas for crossing the wilderness are not invalid, but I do not think we could make the speed you require fire to cross the plains safely. We will spend probably several days crossing them.
I think your evaluation is reasonable. But this is not my decision. What say we all? I will remind all of you, and I do mean all of you assembled here, I am following you.
Arhat would be the one to speak up here, but yeah, I don't know what he would say here.
Yeah, we'll do it next time.
First, we must get these drow to a place where they can settle in. We can go figure out what we need to do from there. So I'd say probably the safest way would be to go through heaven. It's probably the fastest, and since they can disguise their appearances, would be the safest.
Those of us who can disguise our appearance will, and the rest will simply use the cover of the crowds, hopefully. Remain out of sight. Remain cloaked. We've managed before. We can manage again.
We'll probably. I was.
This idea. Oh, sorry, Joe.
I was gonna say we probably want to just then travel through the city once nighttime comes around, just to help out the Shadow Blades more.
Yeah, get there, try and hit there at nighttime and try and make it through in one night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Sounds good. Yeah, my priority is the drow, but my family's up north. We'll get there.
Fair enough. Kind Bull, I trust this path will not impede your quest for vengeance.
That quest for vengeance doesn't seem to have a start or finish. So, anywhere that I might go doesn't impede me.
And I think we're agreed.
Oh,
It was Austin.
Yeah, fuck you too, Austin. All right.
you fucking Austin, God, fuck.
All right, you guys think about your plans. I don't think we're gonna run into an answer tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And my voice is pretty thrashed anyway.
I mean, the best we get is, all right, let's set off in the morning. Well, that's an entirely different fucking campaign hook, and I'm assuming, Chase, you didn't write that one out.
No, I have ideas.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have lots of
Fair
ideas.
enough. Okay.
However, tomorrow, actually, we could probably run through this. The next day, so after all this discussion at night, you guys eventually bed down. Lots of questions bouncing around your minds. Is there anything you guys would like to do during this night back in the Prime Material?
I
Desper
will
only
have a
wants
bit
to.
of a trot around, try to figure out, what this place is.
Well, first of all, the sun sets, which you're not accustomed to. And it gets real fucking dark. But do you have dark vision, actually?
I think I might. Let me check.
It doesn't say you have special senses, but I don't know
No,
about the...
No. Hold on.
I don't
Nope.
think you do.
No, I do not. But that's okay.
So
If it's
yeah,
in the
it gets
mall,
dark,
I'm
and you
like,
can't
oh.
fucking see.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Oh.
The drow don't seem nearly so hindered, but the Cyclops do. So whatever her fucking name is helps you. She hands you a torch, and you're like, no, I don't like this fire thing.
Duthor?
Yes, correct. Ugh.
Duthor.
Duthor, thank you. I always want to say it starts with an R, but that's not true. She helps you out and eventually gets you. Jesus fuck. Gets you some bedding. And kind of lays out a couple like sleeping bags, like Cyclops-sized sleeping bags. And you guys settle in for the night. Anything else? You do a trot around very briefly before the sun is completely gone down. And you find beautiful fall colors and kind of brisk mountain air now that you're up a little bit in the foothills.
Despero will go to a place where he's not at risk of disturbing anybody with a loud noise.
Uh-huh.
And with the assistance of Earth Tremor, he's going to drive his fingers into the ground, probably at the bottom of the hill, way closer to
Sure.
Northeast Street. And he's going to try to tap the land to see if now this grove, where the Feywild has died, and where tomorrow a world seed will be planted, if this place gives him the same feeling as the place of power that his Voyant friend up north showed him
It
before.
definitely-
He's now going to start pinging.
It definitely does.
Okay.
And with immediacy, you as soon as you get your hands you bury your hands like up to the wrist in this tremoring earth as you dig your hands deeper, kind of sifting through earth that shakes around you. You feel yourself kind of sink into the earth, and you feel that rush of memories come to you again. That kind of like your ancestors. You may have been the first of your ancestors to set foot in the Feywild on a contract. You may have been the first of your ancestors to do battle with people on the Feywild that wasn't on a contract. You don't know, but you feel like these firsts have been made for your nomadic tribe, and you feel that connection to the shard of information, of possibility that you touched back home that similarly touched you and gave you such insight. And you can feel the power of this place welling up inside you, and you do indeed believe that this is a similar ley line, a place of power, whether influenced by the world or put upon the world. This is certainly a place of power.
Okay. Despero, this might be dangerous. It was dangerous the first time. Despero is going to try, to the fullest extent of his ability, to tap this place of power, and will only stop, and I only want to say this at a point of preface because, like, he's going to have to react fast if this happens. He will only stop if he feels power being taken away
Mm-hmm.
from the land. He wants to participate in it, he wants to tap it, he wants to drink of it if he can. But if he sees that the tree is weakening, or that the grove is unhealthy, or that the soil that the seed will be planted in tomorrow won't quicken, he's going to rip his hands out of the ground immediately.
Go ahead and roll me a charisma check with proficiency. Okay. So I don't know if you're proficient in any of your charisma skills,
but we're 12, so just +4, right?
Plus your charisma as well. So you can roll an intimidation check. That is actually the right value.
Well, that would be +7, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Plus
and
your
it is.
charisma.
And it is. Yeah, good call. That's an 8.
Okay.
15.
Okay. Yeah, and
Intimidate the crowd real quick. Sorry, go on.
And in the way that you were taught to recognize these places, in the way that your ancestors urge you, the voices in the back of your head, especially now that you step away from Matthias, the voices in the back of your head kind of rise up again and instruct you in these ways in ancient tongues that you're not sure you even understand. But you feel that those ripples of power along your tattoos as you continue digging your hands into the earth, and you have kind of a moment of dissociation where it's like leaning too far back in a chair, like you're right on the edge of that tipping point, and you
don't really know if you're gonna fall.
You don't really know if you're gonna fall, but you have to commit to it anyway to stay upright. And you do commit to it, and you push your force of will, your presence into that cycle, and your senses widen for a second, for just an instant. You are hearing things beyond your senses. You're smelling every little twitch of chemicals in the air, every single little alteration. Your senses just go. You go ultra instinct for just a minute. And as you're still connected there, you feel that taste of true lay power, willingly becoming part of the cycle and part of this life or death balance, this life and death cycle that the land represents, and you willingly subject yourself to the ebb and flow, and you feel yourself lost for what feels like hours before you come rushing back to your senses and realize that you're about to go over that tipping point and you can't control it, and you are a void. As much as your ancestors have filled you with knowledge and power, you are still a void compared to the infinite power of this plane. There is a reason this place is the prime material plane. And if you're not careful, you will drink too deeply of this power. You are not ready. Maybe someday you will be ready, but not
Despero
today.
violently rips his hand out of the earth. I assume displacing a lot of the ground.
Yeah, and with the tremor coming to a close, there's a pretty hefty spray of loose earth around you as you pull your hands out, and you can see the tattoos all up your forearms are just white hot.
Fuck. Despero takes, as long as he needs to compose himself. Let's be real, after that kind of experience, like, he's taken at least 30 minutes.
Yeah.
That's minimum. Yeah.
Yeah.
But after he's, like, not in a cold sweat, and not, like, you know, in muscular spasms and tremors, and after his tattoos stop searing his skin, he'll take a deep breath and walk back to the encampment.
As you get back up to the encampment, you see Matthias sitting on a large cyclops-sized like hammock chair thing, grinding a whetstone noisily across his axe blade. And he looks at you and just kind of does a kind of double take at you for a second, and you can see him looking at looking you up and down. I thought I sensed something.
Yes. The mission our ancestors entrusted you. When it comes time, listen. The voices they intrigue you with.
I will. And I value your input. You are senior to me in experience and stories.
You will pardon me for violating our point of command, control, order, and seniority, but I must ask you a question, not as a void, but as a man, as a brother.
He nods.
May I sit with you tonight? I require the comfort of family.
Please. I too have missed my family. Come share a drink.
Aye. Despero does.
Very, very Viking like arm, Beastmaster handshake.
Yeah, gripped at the elbow, yeah.
Yeah. And he welcomes and he shares stories of his two companions, and he's a couple years younger than you. He's probably 3 or 4 years younger than you.
Right.
But trained in the he was top of his class. He was, the most excellent given of the recent class of Voeen, and given this extremely challenging mission for it.
Yeah, he was the best his batch made, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And his two companions are also the best in their in their skill sets of his.
They are junior to him?
They are junior to him, but only by 1 year.
Cool. Okay.
And they're he explains that Luke he's not nearly as strong as you or me, but he's so much faster than either of us could ever hope to
Right.
be.
As soon as I saw 3 swords, I was like, man.
He's a monk.
Right. Okay.
He's a
Voyin monk. Oh, okay.
He's a Voeen monk.
Shit. Alright.
And Sarmina is she has a knack for healing magic, which is uncommon to the Voeen, but necessary all the same. And it's a strange blend of ancestral remedies and a little bit of natural magic, and she is a cleric. She's a voting cleric.
Oh, holy shit. Okay, I didn't even consider what that would be. Okay.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That class I have not fully fleshed out, but the monk I do have. I'm about halfway through the handbook for that.
Yeah, look, I'm playing the Swole Sorcerer. I've now seen the Spolbarian. I now understand that all voying classes are balls to the wall and dope, so I'm looking forward to see them.
I am excited. The monk, I think the monk's my favorite.
Shit, really?
They are entirely constitution based.
I may be biased, but Sorcerer's my favorite.
Yeah.
That's definitely biased, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright,
Alright.
cool. Yeah, Despero for the evening is just gonna hang out with Mattias. He needs some warm comfort.
Cool.
I mean, he's composed all the time, but fuck, he's been through a lot.
All right. Anybody else have anything they want to do over the evening?
Joe is going to find, she's just gonna sit on her Cyclops sleeping bag, I guess.
Yeah.
And she is going to pull out, some bones out of her satchel, and she's gonna cast Augury.
Oh, good.
Oh shit. This is definitely the first time in my entire life I've seen a barbarian cast Augury.
Actually, no, this is the second time. Remember,
You've done it before.
I've done it before.
Shit.
I did it when I was like, what do we do with the Cyclopses in terms
Yeah,
of,
That's right.
yeah.
She can, I believe, once per day you can speak with animals or cast augury.
No, I have Augury and
So
Clairvoyance.
it's not like looking into the
Clairvoyance.
constellation, it's like reading the tea leaves and the bones of the fire kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's part of the path of the ancestors. Primal path.
Yeah. So she's gonna roll up, kind of like look at the bones, let kind of her claws run through them, and then okay, let's see. Specific course of plan I take within the next 30 minutes.
I'll extend it to your next day.
Okay. Okay.
For this, since you're doing it downtime.
I wasn't sure. I just noticed it was 30 minutes. So.
Yeah, it's supposed to be pretty immediate, but you can.
Yeah.
I'll extend it for this just because it's cool.
Really cool.
Okay. I don't get to do this often. I don't get to do this often. So she's gonna kind of look at them and. Is following our plan that we discussed safe for no not actually no not that question. I don't know if she's gonna get the answer that she wants or if they're gonna tell her, because this is a little far out into the future, even with the day extra that you're giving me, Chase.
Sure.
Do I stay with these folk? Or do I find my own path by myself to Toby? And she's gonna kind of chuck the bones.
Okay.
Actually, no, how about this? I'll just try to make the answer easier for you, Chase. Do I go on my own to find Toby rather than stay with these people?
Yeah, that's good, because you're only gonna get wheel and well. That's smart.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you have a number of bones that you've taken from your
My home.
Victories.
My victories and
yes,
a
some
little.
victories and kind of in idle times scratched runes upon them in ancient draconic.
Mm-hmm.
And your question is, should I go alone?
Mm-hmm.
You get the one that comes up. So basically, the way you kind of throw, there's like 4 or 5 of them that you throw kind of like pickup sticks.
Mm-hmm.
And you drop them into a little pile together, and basically whichever one is on top and whichever rune of them is on top is your answer.
Mm-hmm.
You get death.
Oh boy. She's gonna like grunt, look a little grumpy about it. Like she doesn't like that answer. Like, oh man, I shouldn't even asked, man.
Local crocodile is willing to fight the fire.
But mom, I don't like these
said that,
people.
Yeah.
My fucking fire alarm's doing a stupid thing.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
But mom, I rolled up a really cool new character.
No, I. But no, like, I mean, yeah, I did, but like, I'm willing to keep going with Joe. I do. I just wanted to, for Joe's own curiosity, I wanted her to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And she'll just
And especially according to Augury, I will answer you truthfully.
Mm-hmm. Joe's just gonna huff and puff and pout, but she'll take the words of her ancestral spirits to heart because they haven't really lied to her yet. So,
Mm-hmm.
after that, she'll pick up the bones and go to bed.
New God, who dis?
I'll enchant my thing, or start enchanting my thing.
Okay.
Can I ask the drow if they have access to enhanceability, or nah?
The only one who does is New Benny.
Alright,
Despero technically has an enhanced ability, but he can only cast buffs on himself. Because he's a sorcerer.
Yeah.
That's
And
right.
and New Benny can. It's hers is natural magic, not arcane magic. So I don't think
Okay,
she can
so,
help you.
yeah, she can't help. That's okay. I'll just do it on myself.
And this is downtime enchanting.
Probably, yeah.
Since you it's during your rest.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll cast it on myself so that I have advantage on that.
Oh, which one are you enchanting?
I don't know. So initially I was gonna do the the 1 gem per, but since enhanceability itself is like I could pick, can I just do that since it's
No.
safe?
You would
Alright.
no. You technically enhanceability is 6 different spells.
Spells, yeah. All right, yeah. Then I'll start with the one with the help me with the Arcana check, so intelligence.
Intelligence, yeah. Which is Eagle Splendor's charisma. Fox's cunning.
Uh,
I think it's Fox's. Yeah, I think it's Fox's cunning.
yeah, that's it. I didn't target myself because I can't.
Yeah,
Can
you're
I?
not on the map. Just
Oh, I
roll.
can. There it is. Aha! Bam. It's a combat tracker.
Oh, okay.
Is it an intro or Arcana roll?
It's Arcana.
Okay.
And it's a reasonably low DC. I don't have the PDF up.
Oh, dexterity is Cat's Grace. I was sorry, Vaughn.
Yeah.
It should be like DC 13.
Yeah, it's 13. Yeah, you're good. So you get 1 downtime enchanting done on that.
Good.
Okay. All right, you guys all sleep?
Yeah.
And in the morning, you're awakened by the smell of roasting vegetables. It seems that with Duthor's reasonable druidic magic, she has made the use of some plant growth spells to speed up their farming capabilities. And you also see the drow with an orcish name. I can't fucking remember his name now.
Oh, fuck, Soupmeister.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kubrick.
yeah. No, that's not Kubrick.
No.
Ordruic.
Or
Ordruic Gorojesh. Zhesh. I should have
Fuck
screened.
that name.
I should have screened these names before writing them down.
Too many
uh,
consonants, yeah.
Yeah, it's an orcish name though. And you see him managing his giant cauldron next to the Cyclops chefs or cooks. I suppose they're not quite chefs. And they're like chucking random vegetables into his pot, and he keeps pulling out like piles more and putting them on the fire. And yeah, you guys have yourselves a nice breakfast. And the Cyclops are like, with the announcement last night that you guys are going to do this ritual, they're like all dolled up. Like the women are wearing these like flower crown thing, and the men have not quite war paint, but like ceremonial paint across their brow and across and down their cheeks. And the even the children, the couple of children that are with you and the elderly are like dropping flowers everywhere. And it's kind of a last of autumn festival that they're now celebrating with you also are planting this seed. So this is going to be a skill challenge. How do you each contribute to the ritual of binding this seed to this place of power and emboldening the life force of the Feywild, try and kind of resurrect the Feywild? What do each of you offer?
I know what I want to do, but I also want to ask you, Chase, for a point of inventory. At this point, the acorns that Melifia gave us, long fucking time ago,
they are probably long rotted.
Okay.
If they were given as a good berry, they're gone.
Okay. I'm talking about like when we were like when fucking it was the original party.
I'm
assuming are rotted.
Those are it's been actually you get back to the prime material plane and it's been 6 months plus whatever time you were traveling. So they're just dust in your pockets.
Okay, so then having nothing to do with that.
But to be fair, rotting things, as Kindball knows, is really good for growing new things.
Yeah, but these are like dust.
Okay.
Acorns don't really rot so much as they mulch.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, I've actually seen that. They turn into like this black husk of themselves,
Yeah.
and then the inside goes hollow.
Yeah.
So instead of that, Despero will use Earth Tremor to till the soil.
Okay. So go ahead and make me make it just a spell casting attack roll. Which is your charisma. It's the same thing as your intimidation check, actually.
So useful. Again, here am I, intimidating the ground.
Proud of you.
Thank you. Oh, fuck that one! It was about to land on 13. Fuck that one.
Yo, make that an 11.
So you're gonna give your buff to it.
Yeah.
Okay, that helps, but it's still a natural 1. Okay. Who's next?
I mean, I'll just follow the lead of the drow, but all I can really offer is my magic to help.
Okay. What magic do you use to help? And this is the digging and planting of the actual planting of the seed is a reasonably easy task, especially for the Cyclops. Basically, take a shovel and chunk one giant dig, and there's enough of a pit to dig this thing in the right place. And basically, in the center of the sacred tree, the Edwin of this grove is actually kind of not in the center of the clearing. It's kind of pushed against the edge. So they're putting this seed in the center.
So it's technically a shovel because they're so fucking big. It's a rototiller.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a one-shot shovel.
Yeah. Just
I was just gonna do a flat magic roll, but
well,
I didn't have anything in particular.
What? So look through your abilities, figure out something that you can do. It doesn't have to be a spell. It could just be something ritualistic and helping with the ritual. It could be knowledge that you have. It could be knowledge that you gained in the Feywild. Something that has to do with the rebirth of the Feywild.
really
I mean, I have Revivify,
that
but
might
like,
be relevant actually.
That might be
given what we're trying to
relevant.
do.
That
yeah,
might be
I have,
relevant.
I have Revivify preferred. Yeah,
I
I
have
can
a
cast
Revivify
that.
as well.
Now, do you have 300 gold worth of diamond dust? Can you
I
cast
do.
the spell?
I have the
I have
equivalent for
I
rotting
have
people.
so much residuum.
Yes. So, Kindle, you might have other things to offer, and the group can only offer each thing once.
Okay.
So the intimidation one is done.
That was a spell attack roll for Despero.
Oh, a spell attack roll? Okay.
So Despero tried to till the earth, and he's doing a little bit of it, but like his elbows shaking. He's like, fuck. Like, yeah.
Can,
I'm just trying to think of what Joe could do. Little,
It doesn't have to be a thing that would physically help the thing. It could just be ritualistic.
do I have as a paladin, I do have a, what are they called again? Like the thing that like almost like a spellcasting implement, right? But it's not actually
A holy
spellcasting.
symbol. A holy symbol.
Yes. I still have a holy symbol.
Yes, you do have a holy symbol, and I'd say it'd be probably contained within your armor. Your
Yeah, I mean, these are rights. We can literally just kneel and present something of significance.
Yeah.
It would still
Can
help.
I present my holy symbol?
do
Can
you
I
want
like
to-
peel it from my armor?
you want to leave your holy symbol?
No, but I want to use its magic to help.
Okay. These offerings, very much alchemy. Give something to get something.
Okay. Okay.
If you want to leave your holy symbol, that would be a significant offering.
Okay. I know what I want to do.
You're
I know
a
what I do.
vengeance paladin of
Rot
a
and decay.
well, not just decay, but of
Rebirth.
a of a demigod of the Feywild itself.
Yes, I know.
I feel like anything you leave behind would be of significance.
If I leave my holy symbol, would I still be able to cast?
Nope.
You'd have to get a new one.
You would have to get or make a new one. You would have to
Um.
make a new one because sure as shit nobody makes them to mix.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
I got it.
said,
I got one.
turn a-
Okay, Joe, go ahead.
This is gonna be kind of weird,
I'm into weird.
but Joe is going to stand before the seed and kind of kneel down. She is going to pull out the black axe and actually, not the black axe. She's going to keep the black axe on her back. She is going to hold her arm out, and she is going to bite down onto her own arm until her arm gushes blood, and she's going to offer her blood.
Okay. Make a. Just make
and-
a straight Constitution check.
Okay. I was gonna say she's kind of it's kind of like a I guess a spiritual ritual to strengthen the land or the areas with the
Absolutely, yeah.
ancestors.
Yeah,
I thought it was gonna be religion. If it's con, is she checking to not exsanguinate herself?
No, but it's the force of her. The force of literally the strength of her blood.
So just straight Constitution roll.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
I'm adjusting the DC because I didn't
Eh.
proficiency. Yeah, you definitely pass it.
Those got strong blood.
Yeah, and the strength of your people is represented in you. So you are contributing. This is not just a
Mhm.
this is not just a drip some blood on the soil and hope that it grows better. This is a blood pact.
This is offering her people's strength to heal this land, to heal this plane that she could not save earlier.
Yeah.
So in hopes of maybe future generations of her people will come and journey, get visions and see what she did here and what they could do to amend her failure.
Absolutely. So this is definitely I'll say you take 12 points of damage.
Okay.
And you drain quite a bit of blood down into this pit until it's like pooled up around the seed and quickly soaking into the dirt or the soft earth around this seed, and you feel a connection. You feel this is the power you have to offer, and here it is, and here you offer it. This is a primal blood pact.
This is the most
in
precious.
accordance with your people.
Yeah, this is the most precious thing Joe could offer.
This is the most precious
most-
thing she can give. Is her
It's like
blood.
the most ancient kind of contract you could make.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, that is a good one.
Well, now I feel like an irreverent dunk ass for just shaking the ground.
No, well, so it was in connotation with the rite you had performed the previous night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
that does. Yeah,
And it's
that's a lot. Yeah.
and it's like either if it's her ancestors that are, or I mean her, not her ancestors, her, what's the other term for it? Not ancestors, but the other way around. Her descendants.
Descendants.
Whether it's directly her kids, future kids, if they happen, or
Yeah.
cousins or nephews or whatever down the line, someone or something will come to amend what she fucked up.
Perfect.
Not to completely destroy the gravity of the moment, but does Joe lay eggs?
I think lizard folk breed. I don't think they have eggs. I'd have to go into the book and figure out what the
Okay.
fuck their biology is.
Sorry,
Some
I shouldn't ask that
reptiles-
question. I'm sorry.
Some reptiles do breed live young, though, right?
Hmm.
Like they start in
Very
eggs and then
few.
they. Yeah.
Nope, lizard folk do lay eggs.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We talked about them being kind of communal clutches.
Mm-hmm.
I will leave my holy symbol here. I will bury it in the earth with the seed.
Yeah, so you see Kindball kind of arduously get down onto their knees and strip the inside. A large piece comes out of the center of the inside of this breastplate. This kind of chitinous breastplate that sits on Kindball, and this large chunk of what doesn't appear to be much to you guys. It's this kind of twisted knot of wood. That is just part of her armor. And it is, she breaks it out and digs his hand deep into the loam, and into the soil and release it. Go ahead and make a religion check for me.
That's a
Kindball.
hell of a fucking offering coming from the Feywild's own Harbinger of
Yeah.
Vengeance.
Not actually very good at that.
That's okay.
17?
It helps if you roll well.
Yeah, that's certainly a pass.
Yeah, and it does.
Farhat just takes he takes the stick of wheat out of his mouth, or like the tobacco leaf out of his mouth, and similarly draws a dagger, or a blade of some kind, and slices his finger. I had his fucking sheet pulled up. Where the fuck did it go?
Dang it, he's copying me.
But instead of blood, you see him. You see when he bleeds, a drop of mercury comes out, and he just barely cuts his finger, and says, "Sometimes, wow, sometimes you gotta kill the cancer before you can clean the wound." And he drops a drop of mercury in, and the wheat stick with it.
Good job on the Farhat speech, Chase. That was good, Farhat.
This is easy. You just get way down there. I think I also did a pretty good Kitchelorn previously too.
Yeah, your Kitchelord's good.
All right, Real, do you have anything?
Yeah, I'll just go through Revivify.
Okay. So you expend your components, and kind of press your hands into the dirt alongside, as it's being covered up, alongside the seed, and you press your healing magic into it and try and revitalize, just give that defibrillator shock of life.
I'd say I think we did good here.
Rio, go ahead and roll me an intelligence. Yeah, intelligence with proficiency. So just +7.
That's just gonna be my Arcana. I'll just roll that.
Sure.
Hey, let's go roll.
That was a good roll.
Hey.
Yeah, so with the exception of Despero's 1, you guys all passed the DC. Joe just barely. Oh no, yours was adjusted for, yeah, yours was fine.
Yeah, just communed with the fucking place of power last night, so I guess that's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are confident, and the Cyclops, as soon as it's finished, they kind of, after a fashion, they parade around, and they're doing this kind of like tribal dance, like very much Native American rain dance looking, shaking sticks and feathers in the hair and stuff, and it looks like kind of a pointless dance, and they're just tromping all over the ground that you guys just consecrated, and you realize that's the point. They're tamping it down.
Yeah, they're setting the soil.
Yeah, they're setting the soil, and it's a very intentional and kind of frightening dance to watch. Several 20-foot tall Cyclops just like hoopa 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 hoopa, you know. Yeah.
That's an earthquake. That's an earthquake.
Tapping along with it.
Yeah.
He's like, because she's into that, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
heavy beats.
And you see a ritual successfully pulled off. That
Oh,
was
yeah.
actually very good successes.
Fuck yeah. I recognize this is fair for a next session because I assume we're about done here, but Despero's rubbing his almost shattered elbows like, ow, ow.
Yeah, and meanwhile,
Uh,
Joe is still like
relax.
freshly bleeding from her arm, and she's just like pussy.
Rude.
As a future replacement, because it probably won't happen right away, can Kynball find a nut in Melophe's tree and cut that off and just place it within himself?
Absolutely.
And hopefully one day hopefully that
So-
will one day go back to being a holy symbol.
So you will have to infuse and enchant your holy symbol,
Yeah.
which will take several enchanting days. But Rio can help you with that actually, and it will take 500 gold worth of materials.
That's
to
that's
enchant.
fine. It'll just sit in his cavernous chest and will brood.
Yeah.
With maybe Real's help if Real wants to touch all over his chest, you know.
I kind of
don't
feel
tell
like
me with the time.
I kind of feel like the sheer gravity of that offering makes it worth, and then some.
Yeah, that's a big one. That was a good one.
Yeah.
And Joe, the blood was also quite flavorful. That was very good.
I was just like trying to think of something like, well, what's important to Joe?
No, that's very
What's
good.
something
That-
big that Joe could give? I was just like,
most-
I was trying to wrap my head around like, well, she could do like an ancient performance dance. I'm like, that's not enough. Yeah.
yeah.
Ah yes, my juice, my lizard juice.
Originally, I was just gonna have her run her hand along her axe, but I'm like, no, that's not metal enough.
Yeah.
So I just had her
Yeah.
just had her bite her own arm.
That really is some blood for the blood god ass shit.
Yep. I love that
Yeah.
shit.
Oh, guys, I won't be casting for the next few days.
Yeah, we get
so
it. You can still be horse, especially if we're gonna make you the cart horse. Why did you volunteer for that?
Well,
I
so
mean,
Nikki, only spells that require material components you can't cast.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And that's
Well-
not so anything. So look at the spell components. So VS are fine. M are not fine unless it's a paid component, in which case you can still do it if you have those paid materials.
Yeah, you're
Like
a
if you want
paladin.
to
A lot of
use-
your shit should be somatic.
if you have
So I
if
can
you
cast
well,
everything
do you
except
have the
bane.
you can look up the ceremony spell, and you can use that to help enchant your new holy symbol, but it will take that takes silver dust as well, in addition to the other materials you require to construct the holy symbol.
There are a couple spells I can use to extract silver veins if we find them.
I do not have the ceremony spell, but that's okay.
It's a paladin spell.
Is it? I don't.
Yeah. Ceremony is paladin and cleric only, I believe.
Is Paladin a
Should be
prepared
just
caster?
paladin. Yeah.
Oh,
No,
well,
wait
yeah.
out.
Yeah. Paladin is prepared. You know the entire spell list.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's paladin.
Oh, I am a prepared caster.
Yeah. You got it all.
Holy shit.
I mean, that means your nights
Oh,
are going to be
whoa.
fraught with decisions, but you got it all.
Wait, I now leveled, so I have 2 more spell slots to take. Oh my
It's
lord.
so
okay.
funny to me that you complain so much about being a prepared spellcaster as Melphia, and now you have another one.
Oh my
Good job.
fucking God.
Good job.
But paladins have a significantly smaller breadth of spells to pick from.
Yeah.
They all basically do.
Well,
the
yeah,
same
because they're
thing.
supposed to
Yeah.
swing on you and smite and yell. Yeah.
Yeah. The
And that's,
paladin spell list is always something that has just fascinated me. There's so
Yeah.
much weird shit in here.
well, that's why so many of their shit is somatic. You're supposed to
Yeah.
just scream in the name of your god while you swing on a motherfucker. That's the idea.
Circle, what does that do?
What? Magic circle?
It's a good spell.
Yeah, magic circle is it's very strong, if very situational
Slow.
spell.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's
well-
very situational, and I love it.
We're gonna take a I'll have 2 more spells to take for now. I'm gonna prepare ceremony.
You can
But,
prepare let's see, you can prepare 6
9.
plus
I can prepare 9 spells now.
But,
9 spells.
Anyway, thanks for coming, everybody, and
Yeah,
I will
we are
be
gonna wrap.
yeah, I will be uploading this to YouTube shortly. So, goodbye, stream.
Bye, stream.